Now can you hear me? There we go. You'd think I know how to work this by now, but thanks to Brad for getting everything set up. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first Hardrocker Luncheon of the 2016-2017 academic year. It's, believe it or not, summer goes fast here as we get ready for another academic year. The scholar athletes, many of them have been here for quite a few weeks getting ready to go. And it's the opening weekend coming up this weekend. Football at home, cross country at home. A couple of things. The soccer program's not going to be at home until October 2nd, if I have that right. So little scheduling scenario there where Jordan Kadlec's going to be a road warrior pretty early in the soccer program, but he'll be here to talk about the opening match for them coming up on Sunday as well. So excited about the year, excited to get things kicked off. Appreciate Subway sponsoring our lunch. Big crowd on hand, good to see that. One person I'm really glad is here. We haven't seen him for quite some time, and he's looking great, doing well, is Tom Rudebush. So I'm glad you're here, Tom. And Tom will be back on the air on GoRockers.com with our stretch internet broadcast and on KKLS with the play-by-play of the Hardrockers and William Jewell coming up on Saturday. So really excited about that. Let's get things started. A lot of coaches to get to. I talked about it a little bit. Friday morning at 9:30 down at Founders Park, you can watch the Hardrocker cross-country team get started. And head coach entering his second full year as head man. Welcome up, Steve Jensen.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, we get to kick things off. Thursday is the first official day we could have a meet. We decided we'd go Friday morning, mostly because we want to beat the heat. We weren't sure what to expect, and looks like we picked a good one to go in the morning. So it's going to be in the 90s later in the day. So we're down at Founders Park, as Tom said. We've got a great group of young guys and gals this year. We are on our men's side really young. We have 4, actually we're just adding a 5th freshman guy this year, and just 3 returners. So this is a shot of us. We spent the week before classes started, we took some time and went out to Medicine Mountain Scout Ranch and spent the night out there, did a little bit of team bonding, got to run up at 6,200 feet elevation, and the only place to run if you've been out there is up. So so they got a chance to get some real good hill climbing in, a little bit sore from that. And then after I sent them out for a long run that morning, we decided we'd do a little service project. So we went out and we started trimming down stems of jack pine. I think that trailer behind there we filled about 6 times by the time it was all said and done. So so got some good work done there, and then we came back into town and made a run on the way again into town. With this group, we've got a few really good runners on the guys' side. We've got Chase Wood. He's the tall one in the back next to me. Chase is I think it's 4-time state cross-country champion out of Nevada. Multiple-time state champ in the mile and 2-mile as well. And then we've also got in that mix, we've got over to the left is Ty Boucher, who's he wasn't a state champ, but he actually ran faster in the 2-mile at North Dakota than Chase did. So we got a couple of really good guys there up front. And of course, we bring back Jacob Huber and Ashton Grissom, who were our top 2 guys last year. So we've got freshmen and sophomores that are going to be leading the way. Look for those guys to do some big things. I think they're going to be really, really strong athletes. We had a workout last week where we were on West Boulevard. I know I saw a few people that I recognized coming down the road. We were running up and down West Boulevard a little bit. We were in that workout faster than I've ever had a group on that workout. So it was great to see they're bringing a new level of intensity to the crew, and so we're excited about what they can get done. On the women's side, we returned everybody, and we only had 1 actually. We had freshman Kayla Kagan. She's out of Shields Valley High School in Montana, which is, if you don't know where that is, I didn't. It's north of Livingston, just a little bit. But Kayla actually never ran cross country, but we're glad we found her and talked her into it. She was somebody we were looking at as a javelin thrower, and then I found out that she'd run a little bit of mile and 2 miles at one point. Talked to her a little bit about it. She's like, "Oh, sure, yeah, I'll give it a try." Yeah, you don't hear that from javelin throwers very often. But Kayla jumped right in, and she's actually been sitting in our top 5, which, if you remember, is scoring position in cross country. So that's huge to be able to bring in a freshman, especially someone as raw as she is, and be able to just plug her in like that. At the end of camp week, we actually went and relayed the Nicholson Trail. We started the men off in Edgemont. We started the women in Deadwood, and we raced to Hill City. So the men had about 60, the women had 49. And so this was the guys getting started. As you can see, bright and early. It was about 40 degrees out in Edgemont at that point when we kicked things off. I asked them, there was an old caboose down there. I asked them if they wanted a picture in front of the caboose or the artillery there. They picked the artillery. Here's a shot. This is Aiden Anderson and Ben Calvin handing off. We did one segment through Pringle where we actually, most of the legs were about 7-8 miles for the guys. There were a couple as high as 9.5. We actually, in this segment, I let them go as hard as they could. We just did 1 mile segments for about 3 straight miles and just let them rip, which these guys in particular really like to do. And then we got Chase on the bike there. So when it was all said and done, got to Hill City, ladies won by 2 minutes. So after 109 total miles, it all came down to 2 minutes. So it's a really good group. We're excited about what they can get done. And as we look at the meet this week, this is our race for the Wildcat Pickaxe. So we race against Gillette College, combined team scores between men's and women's teams to get the pickaxe. This is a tiebreak here. We're tied at two apiece, and so we're hoping we can keep it for one more year and get the advantage on it finally. We were down when I took over going into it, so we're looking forward to that. We've also got Shattern State and Billings coming down, and then we also have Central Wyoming coming, who has their first full women's team. So it should be a good 5-team race, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can do. We know that Shattern on the men's side is going to be really tough, and Billings is never a pushover. So if you get a chance, come check it out. The women run first this year, so the women are at 9:30. The course is right there in Founders Park, stays at the park the whole time. And even if you just stay at the start-finish area, you'll get to see them go by about 5 to 6 times. So it's a really spectator-friendly course, and we'd love to see you there.
You said this Friday.
This Friday.
It starts at what time?
It starts at 9:30.
And women, or just men?
Women run first. Women are at 9:30, and then the men will run shortly after, so probably about 10 o'clock when they start. Other questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. If you haven't watched the cross-country meet, some of you may have not, that's a good place to do it. It really is. You can head down to Founders Park, watch a lot of the runners as they go through there. I talked about Hardrocker soccer a little bit. Jordan Kadlec will do more of that. The football program, Coach Tinker, you have 3 home games before he has 1. It's unbelievable. So you have a little bit of advantage there. Get ready to travel a little bit. Welcome up Jordan Kadlec.
Yep, thanks. As Nate said, we don't play at home until October 2nd, so that's 8 games in a row. We're on the road. It's going to be extremely tough for our guys, but luckily we have 22 returners this year, and we added 8 freshmen, so we're at, I can see our team picture there. We're at 30 on our roster, and having a year of experience in the RMAC is going to be here as well. So for the first time ever this year, we had every single player pass our fitness test, which was massive for us. We put a high precedent on fitness, being that playing 2 90-minute games in 3 days is extremely hard. So that's important. This picture is from preseason. We actually hiked and ran some hills up on M Hill and took this final picture there. So just a little bit about our freshmen. We added eight guys this year, and we're looking right now with the way we've been playing to have about 4 of those guys starting. So we're going to be extremely young, but at the same time we're getting Andreas Scow back, who's a 5th-year senior, arguably our best player. He was out last year, he had foot surgery. His brother is Lars Scow, also a kid who we expect to start. He's coming back from ACL tear, which he did last winter. And then we have Brandon Lynn, who's our returning captain, out on the outside back. So we have a good mix of newcomers and returners that will be in our starting lineup. So 2.5 weeks into preseason, we're fairly happy with where we're at. We played Dakota Wesleyan 2 weeks ago, and we beat them 5-0, which is great. We didn't score many goals last year, and we gave them a lot. So to go out and win 5-0 was huge for us. And then this past Friday, we had a bit of a whirlwind with that storm hit us. We were about 15 minutes from kickoff. We had to take coverage for about an hour and a half, and then lightning hit Dinosaur Hill, which put out our lights. So we started at about 7 p.m. and played until we could barely see the ball. So that game didn't go very well. It was super sloppy for us. Ended up losing 1-0. But that was our final test before we opened up with Mary, so we got to see some good stuff from that. And then we opened up with Mary on Sunday. So we have a 17-game schedule. We were supposed to be going down to Illinois this year, but that schedule fell through. So we ended up just playing Mary, who was also going to go down there. So the University of Mary is a very familiar team. We play them pretty much every year. We play them in the spring. They're always extremely good. They have a bunch of foreigners, and it'll be a good test for us. We're really focusing this year on RMAC, so having the University of Mary twice actually in Billings before we open up the RMAC is going to be a good test for our guys to get their feet wet a little bit, and that'll be good. So one big thing we've done this year, Coach Konath and I have been talking a lot about how we're going to be successful this year and how we're going to win more than 2 games. You know, that's not just really the way we've been. We're competitors. We don't want to have that kind of season again. So last year we averaged about 2.7, 2.8 goals against the game last year, and that's not going to work for us to be successful and for us to win games. So we've actually switched up our style of play quite a bit and went with a new formation. So essentially that would be like basketball or football implementing a new offense and a new defense. And so it's been a bit of a learning curve for our guys, and it's been a bit of a process. So open up against Mary and having 3 non-conference games before going to RMAC is going to be a good test for that formation that we're trying out. So that's all I got for you guys. Does anybody have any questions?
Coach, where do you think you're better this year as opposed to last year?
I think top to bottom we have more depth than we've ever had, and we have more of an attacking dynamic than we've ever had as well. We have 2 freshmen that scored 3 of our 5 goals in our exhibition, which is huge for us. And our goalkeeping spot, it's been the most competitive that's ever been. We have a game on Sunday, and I still have no idea who the starter's going to be. And that's between 3 guys. That's a good problem for us to have. So we'll see how it works out. Yeah.
How do you like your new office?
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we have a new office along with the new entrance there. We have 2 windows, which is awesome. And I haven't heard a weight crash since we moved in there, so getting away from the weight room's pretty nice. Stop in and see it if you want. It's actually clean right now. All right, thanks.
I did forget to mention that office, but I knew Joel would remind me of that. He's got the suite out here now. It's very nice. Doug Tabbert getting set also to hit the road this weekend. Angelo State, the Hardrocker volleyball program goes on the road. Get a season preview. Welcome up, Coach Tabbert.
Thanks, Nate. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We appreciate you supporting our athletes and being here for these luncheons, so thanks for being here. I'll give you a little review of kind of what we've been doing the last few weeks and where we got ahead of us. We'll give you a little snapshot of our team first. Brad's got it. There we are. We're a happy bunch right now, so hopefully we'll keep that way. We're a really young team. That's probably the best way to describe us. We've got 7 freshmen, 2 other first-year players, 5 sophomores, 1 junior, and no seniors. And if you're expecting to see Michaela Reese, who was going to be our lone senior this fall, she's on a co-op with Cargill in Wisconsin this fall, so she's going to redshirt, and she'll be back next fall to finish her senior year. So if you want to see Michaela play, you're going to have to get some video from the volleyball match at the Cargill family picnic or something like that. So we'll miss her, but she's doing a really nice thing academically for herself, and so we'll have her back next year. Look forward to having her back. We're very young, but I think we're better at just about every position probably than we were last year. In part, our returns are all, you're older, you're wiser, you're more experienced, you're more mature, and they're all in a better place than they were last year. And we've got a lot of freshmen that we think can contribute right away. So we've got to work through a few things, but I think we're in a better place than we were last year at this time, and a little more capable as long as we can deal with the youth and the inexperience that we have. The one issue might be, last year we had 3 veteran ball control players, experienced players. We were replacing, that was all of our ball control basically from those 3. This year all of our ball control is going to come from freshmen and a few sophomores, so that's going to be a thing we got to acclimate to a little bit, but I think we'll handle that okay once we kind of get in the mix here. Brad, you want to? Well, we're going to do a quick roster review here, and I'll make this pretty quick because I know most of you guys can read, so I don't need to tell you everything. But Ashley Jasun is freshman out of Colorado, kind of a right side, outside combination player. Still waiting to kind of see what she's going to ultimately be, I think, position-wise for us, but right now she gets some looks at both. Mackenzie Maiden, freshman from here in Rapid City, played at Stevens High School. DS for us, probably going to be in the mix pretty early. Might be our best athlete as far as just being able to go from point A to point B fast and turn around and go back and that kind of thing. Really dynamic kid. Didn't play club. She's a multi-sport athlete in high school. Volleyball, basketball, ran track, played softball in the summer. So she didn't have any club experience. So she's a little green compared to some of our kids, but good athlete. She's been a quick learner for us. And she's not 6'1", by the way. She's about, I don't know, there, something like that. So Anna Bright, sophomore, another of our Colorado kids, middle hitter for us. Had a really good spring, and Anna's got a lot of game. It all comes together. Very high suited as a player for us. She'll be one of our middles, and when it all kind of clicks for her, she's really good. And just kind of find her comfort zone once in a while, but she brings a lot to us at the net. Emily Newton is our junior and one of our other middle hitters here. One of our team captains. She's kind of our elder statesman right now, our most experienced player. As Keith Jackson used to say, she's kind of our bell cow. I know college women don't want to be called cows, but that's kind of what she is for us. Kind of our maturity focus and that sort of thing, and playing really well. She's probably had our best preseason. She's not the biggest kid out there. She gives up some. She's not 6 foot. That's a little exaggeration too, but she gives up a little size to a lot of the middles we play. But she gets a lot done on the court, and she's having a really good preseason so far. Elizabeth Jensen, who's sitting right over there, she's our other captain, sophomore. Set for us last year. Right now she's setting again. She'll probably play some DS for us as well. If Emily hasn't had the best camp, then it's Elizabeth who's had the best fall camp. She's really played well this last couple of weeks and works really hard. Gives us a lot of effort on the court. Gives us kind of a presence. Well, she's kind of mature for her age, and got to figure our setting situation out still. But right now she's been running the show for us to set her spot, and she's not in that. She'll be us for us. Draycon is a sophomore right side hitter, kind of a lefty. Probably going to play a little bit on the outside maybe this year as well because of some depth concerns that we have. Really dynamic player. Probably has the best arm swing on the team. Not real big, but she gets it done at times pretty well on the right side. So we're going to probably use her for some multiple roles this year, and she's got off to a pretty good start this fall. Allie Boggs, freshman out of Geary, Nebraska, setter, a really good high school player, and someone that we were really happy to bring in. She got a concussion, I think, day 3, and has basically been out the entire preseason. We got her back in a limited role yesterday. We think she's going to be cleared to play today, full out in practice, which will be good because we're playing this weekend. And we'll kind of see where she is the next couple of days, but really dynamic personality. If you meet her, you won't forget her, but we're expecting good things from her. Emily Stigney, Emily's been around here this place a long time. She's actually getting a master's degree this year, but had a year of eligibility left athletically and was interested in playing. She came here as a basketball/track athlete and has been doing mainly track during her career here. Had some health issues last year, but wanted to play. She's got a volleyball background. She's played quite a bit. She could have played volleyball coming out of college if she had chose that path. She wanted to be part of the program, and I think when you can add an Emily Stickney, you're going to add an Emily Stickney to your program. Gives it some maturity, and probably going to play mainly as a DS this year. She was the Women's Scholar Athlete of the Year last year here at mine, so we were very happy to add her, and curious to see what else she can accomplish this fall. Kinsey DeVries, another freshman out of Arizona, outside hitter. Was a really decorated high school player as a sophomore. She was getting recognition basically on a national level. Had a pretty serious knee injury her junior year, missed all of her junior season, high school and club, coming back from the knee injury. And she's still kind of working her way back from that. But she's kind of one of those crafty outside hitters, hits a lot of shots and finds a way to get kills. And she acclimates to the college game. She should be a pretty good player for us. So right now she's our other starting outside. Justine Langus, sophomore out of Colorado, playing middle hitter and right side, probably going to play both for us this year. Pretty physical kid when she gets it going, and another high personality kid that brings a lot to the court. So again, we're going to kind of mix her in probably both at middle and right side. And her parents are moving to Australia, so if you see her and she looks a little lonely, a little parental treatment once in a while might be good for her. So. Hannah Stevenson, freshman out of Arizona, right side hitter. Hannah committed to us really early, probably the earliest one of her class. She's if you see her, she's all arms and legs and not much else. We think she's got a really high end as she gets a little bit stronger and a little more experience, but she's got a very bright future for us. Allie Brown, a freshman out of Colorado, DS. Probably going to be our libero, at least at the start of the year. And kind of a high energy kid. Also kind of nervous a lot, so. I'm going to tell a real quick story about her. We had a couple counselors here that met with our team last week, and just kind of an informal kind of thing. And they asked each kid to say something that no one else would know about them. So Allie noted that when she was in grade school, she caught a praying mantis and kept it as a pet for a few weeks. So, well, the next morning when I came to work, there was a praying mantis right on the side of the building, right by the door when I came in. So naturally, I went and caught it, and I brought it in, and I brought it to practice that day to give it to her so she'd have a pet, because she's a freshman, might be a little lonely, that kind of thing. So I had a little cup, and she immediately took out the cup, and it was on her hand, and she had a good time with it. And we were doing a team huddle at the end of practice, and she had it right on the hand, right in the huddle. And I swear to God, one of our freshmen said, "Look, it's putting its hand up to be part of our huddle." And they do kind of do this, so I guess you could make a stretch with that. And then it kind of got a little tragic. The praying mantis flew off her hand because they do fly, and our assistant coach made a grab for it to catch it, and it lost part of the leg. And I don't know if she still has it or not. I haven't checked. I'll get an update on that. We'll find out. I'll let you know next time we meet what the deal is. So, but that's Allie. Karin Hazard, freshman out of Sioux Falls, outside hitter. Going to play a lot for us this year. Going to be our other starting outside, it looks like. Karin's kind of got that speak softly and carry a big stick persona. She doesn't talk a lot. Once in a while she'll kind of break out. She's a pretty quiet kid, but she hits the crud out of the ball. She's got a huge arm and kind of learning the position. She played middle most of her high school career, played in a really good club team last year in Sioux Falls, so started playing outside last spring. So she's really just kind of learned the position, but she's done some pretty good things this fall, so she's going to play a significant role for us. Now, we've only got 2 outsides this whole season, like we think, so we got to be real careful. So keep your distance. I don't need anybody tripping them on accident, or if you're a little under the weather, stay away from them, because we should put them in a bubble, because they're the only 2 we got, we think, for the whole year, and they're freshmen. That's a pretty heavy load, so just be nice to them, but don't get too close. We got to keep them safe. So. Carissa Jensen is a junior here. She's been running track the last couple of years here. Has wanted to play volleyball, so talked to me in the spring. Brought her in, had her do a little workout. Thought she could contribute in some ways, so she's joined us this fall. Primarily at DS, we're using her mainly as a back row player, and she's kind of finding her way a little bit, but she's working through it. So we were happy to add her to give us a little bit more depth on our roster. And then Cassie Williams, who's missing apparently. Cassie Williams is a sophomore, another Arizona kid who's a setter for us. Probably going to play some DS as well. If you've ever met Cassie, I don't think she's ever had a bad day in her life. She's the happiest, go-lucky kid that I think I've ever met. And just to kind of capture that, we did a blood drive. We helped out with a blood drive last spring. We got recruited to do that. And we were supposed to get like 50 blood donors from students here on campus. And that's a lot for, I think. So Cassie spent about an hour down in Surbeck on a Friday morning and pretty much got all of our donors signed up in about an hour. And she is charisma personified. So if you have a bad day, just find Cassie and spend 5 minutes with her, and he'll be better. So a couple other additions. Laura Stiano was a student manager this year, another freshman out of Colorado, so she's helping us out. We haven't had one of those for a while, so it's been very helpful to have her around and get her involved. And then we've got a new assistant coach this year who is sitting right over there, Abby Pollard. Abby was most recently the graduate assistant at Arkansas Monticello, but she worked with me for a couple of years when we were both in Oklahoma, which is kind of why I knew her and was familiar with her. Originally from Colorado, has also spent a lot of time in Wyoming. Comes from a coaching family. Her mom has coached collegiately, and now is kind of doing the high school thing, volleyball-wise. Her sister is on the women's basketball staff at Mesa, and so she kind of knows the coaching lifestyle and what all's involved. So I'm really happy to have her help us out this year. So. A little bit what we got ahead of us here. We're starting week 3 of practice. The first weekend, we went down to Nebraska Kearney for a scrimmaged Hastings College, who's a really good NAI program. They would be very competitive in the RMAC. And then Regis out of the RMAC, who will be one of the best teams in the RMAC, I think, this year. And then Nebraska Kearney, who is a national power of Division II volleyball. So that was our first Saturday. Played really well against Hastings. I really wasn't sure where we were going to be that first day, and we played really well against them and outplayed them over the course of the scrimmage. Played well against Regis too. We were very competitive with them, and they're good, and so that was very encouraging. And then played Nebraska Kearney, who's as a national power, and we got off to a great start. We were up 6-3 on them, and that didn't sit well with their coach, and because they're good. And then they kind of flipped the switch on us, and they really turned it up. And we had a hard time at that point handling that. So, but it was a good experience for us. Basically played for 3 hours, and the first 2 hours were really good, and we were really pleased with how we played. And then the last hour we just moved on, and we're good. So. This weekend we headed to San Angelo, Texas. Angelo State is a really good Division II program. We'll play them. We'll play Tarleton State, who's another very solid Division II program. They're both national tournament participants on a regular basis. Angelo will be really good. Tarleton was loaded last year. They graduated a lot of talent, but they'll still be pretty good. And then we play St. Edward's out of Austin, Texas, who's kind of going through a little bit of change with their program, and we play St. Mary's out of San Antonio, and they've got a new coach this year, and they've had a little turmoil the last couple of years too. So it'll be a good test for us. Two really good Division II programs and a couple that are kind of trying to find their way a little bit, and it'll be a nice balance for us to play. The next week we go to Sioux Falls for their tournament. We play Sioux Falls, Bemidji State, Minnesota Crookston, and William Jewell. That's not necessarily a who's who in Division II volleyball, but it'll be some good competition for us and be a nice change from Angelo. And then our home opener is on the 13th of September against Dickinson State, and then we start conference play that fall, that same weekend with Adams State and Fort Lewis. So I do have one of our players, Elizabeth Jensen, is going to come up here for a second and visit, but any questions or anything I can? Perfect, okay. Liz, come on up.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Jensen. I'm from Aurora, Colorado, studying civil engineering here. A little bit of background, my parents actually both came here. They met here. Actually, one of my mom's professors is sitting right over here, so kind of cool. I'm really excited about this season. Being a sophomore, just coming in with more experience, really knowing how things run. Getting to take some of the freshmen under our wings. That's always fun to kind of see what they'll do for us, what they won't do for us. Yeah, so that's exciting. I believe we are really, really talented this year. Got a lot of new faces, a lot of new girls. So it might be a struggle at sometimes, but we all mesh so well together that I think we can easily pull each other up if we're feeling down in any situation, whether it's volleyball, academics, socially, anything like that. So it should be a really fun season. Looking forward to going to Texas. This will be the first time I fly with the college team. Not excited about getting up at 4:40 in the morning to leave. That'll be a little bit of a task. I want to update on Allie Brown's praying mantis. She did let it go. She didn't want to take the fault if it died. So, yeah. And then I figured I'd share a Doug Tabbert story with you all. I don't know how happy he'll be about this, but so you all know he's a very nice, caring man. I joined a sorority recently this past spring. My mom was actually in it too. She's one of the people that started it, so just thought I'd do that. So because of how nice he is, he figured he'd get me ready for the hazing, the quote-unquote hazing. So during the spring season, he'd just make me shag some balls and, do some crazy stuff. Nothing too bad, don't worry, wasn't bad, but, so yeah. Anybody have any questions? Okay, awesome, thanks.
Thank you very much. We're all getting excited for Saturday. College football kicks off. This guy's been a part of a program. This great offensive coordinator for 4 years. First time at a Hardrocker Luncheon behind the podium, though. Welcome up head football coach Zach Tinker.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Especially thank the Hardrocker coaches in attendance. Jason Henry offered to help me out if I got nervous. So if I reach for your hand during the ceremony, Jason, you got to be there for me. I do want to leave a lot of time for Larry and Tom's questions at the end, so let's get rolling on it. Exciting time for Hardrocker football. 21 seniors that have engaged this football program, that embrace the core values of Hardrocker football: trust, accountability, perseverance, and service. And we had a lot of fun with our seniors. I've really valued what a senior means and what it means to be a senior. So our seniors, the photos you're seeing had the opportunity to do a custom photo shoot. And so they went out with Brad Bloom, who did an outstanding job. And so all of our seniors have this memory of them in their football uniform. And there's a lot of jealous underclassmen that wish they got their moment. And we're excited to get them to the point where they can be seniors in our program, they can become servant leaders on our campus, servant leaders in our community, and servant leaders for our football program. And when they get to that stage, they can have these moments. And we're excited to see what this leadership of this football program can do. We have
an awesome opportunity this week. William Jewell coming to town. Every time we play William Jewell, stuff happens. It's usually a high-scoring affair. It's very, very competitive. They have a really fast, exciting football team. A little too fast. I'd like to slow them down just a little bit. But we're excited for the challenge. You know, we've really been focusing our energy on South Dakota Mines Hardrocker football. But now as we start to get into game week and get prepared for William Jewell, our kids have really answered the challenge. They're focused, they're determined, and they bring the juice every day. You know, one of the things that's very, very important to me is our players practice with great energy. And so we call it juice. So if you see our players around, you might ask them if they need a little juice. And if they do need some juice, just give it to them. Give them some energy. Give them some enthusiasm. Give them some excitement. We go 6 a.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, so if you ever want to come out and watch us practice, we start pre-practice at 5:50 a.m. Okay, we keep the music nice and low, not to disturb the residents of the community early on in practice. By about 7 o'clock, it's cranked up, and the Hardrockers are out there doing their thing on the football field. So anytime you want to come by practice, open invitation to anybody to stop by Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium and check us out. And this team is preparing diligently for this challenge ahead, going into the RMAC, which I think everybody's excited about. Everybody in the room's fired up for the chance to see what we look like in RMAC play. A couple of things that people always ask me about, how healthy we are, I'm really not going to say, because nobody's healthy. Okay, that's college football. But we know we have a very competitive product that we'll be able to put out on the field. We will start Jake Sullivan at quarterback on Saturday. Jake played quite a bit last season in a relief role most of the time. Jake's from St. Thomas More. He's a Rapid City native. And he had a great season last year. He's had a great camp. We have two other senior quarterbacks, Evan Sanders and Ben Broker, who are both at the ready, who have both won football games here at South Dakota Mines. And Ben's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, right? You saw him last year. He played receiver for us. He's played quarterback. He played inside receiver out. He's punted in games for us. He actually long snaps a little bit too. So we're going to move Ben around and continue to, you'll see number 12 all sorts of places. So if you're like, man, it looks like 12 plays more than one thing. That's true, he does. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think the player that most people are really excited to see is David Jackport, a senior, a civil engineer out of the Phoenix area. And David is an all-conference player last year in the GNAC, our only returning all-league player. And he is an exciting player, and he'll be leading that defense, number 58 on D. And you'll see him firing up the Rocker Dogs. He's just got so much juice. He's one of those guys who every single day, if you need a pick-me-up, he's there for you, you know, and one of those people that everybody in the program can count on. So very, very excited for what we have to offer you here this year. Can't wait for Saturday. It's a noon kickoff, which is a little different. So get up, get juiced up, come out to Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium, watch some college football on a Saturday at noon. Can't wait to see everybody out there. Who's got questions, Larry?
Well, remind me, what kind of offense does William Jewell run?
Yeah, William Jewell is a really, I would call him a true spread offense. They have really, really fast receivers. They do a great job recruiting those skill positions. And now they have a really big physical running back who's going to provide us some challenges as well. So we know we've got our hands full in terms of the speed that they have. So you'll see the ball, you'll see them in shotgun most of the time. You'll see them put the ball in the air. They threw for a bunch of yards last season as a group. We're going to have our hands full. But I'm excited what Coach Breisman has done with our defense, our Rocker Dog defense, because we are really doing a great job stopping the run right now, and we're doing an outstanding job pinning our ears back and trying to get after the quarterback. And with the additions we have on the defensive secondary, we're excited. We're ready for the challenge on Saturday for sure.
Can I ask a question, Zach?
Please.
I noticed in the scrimmage last Friday, first time I've been able to see you, that the defensive front looked a little bit different. Are you planning that are you going to be pretty much the same, or are you going to, depending on who your opponent is and what the situation is?
Yeah, the strength of our defense is that Coach Breisman really commits to stopping the run. Okay, so what we're doing defensive front wise is we move. okay? So you're gonna see us try to confuse offensive lines with our movement throughout the course of the game. Sometimes we'll have 3 down linemen, sometimes we'll have 4 down linemen. It'll vary depending on who you're playing. The game has really become such a matchup-oriented game that you really have to tailor yourself week to week as to what you're seeing and be flexible. You know, you have to have kind of that amoeba mentality where you can kind of take on whatever the challenge is going to be that week. The challenge this week is being able to contain their receivers and then attack the quarterback. You know, so we're going to line up to do just that on Saturday. But I like the multiplicity of what we do defensively. That really we have plans for every style of offense we're going to see, and the RMAC is pretty unique in that you see a little bit of everything, and so we're going to be challenged each and every week to adapt to what we're seeing. Coach Larson.
What's been the biggest change for you as, well, offensive coordinator and head coach this year? What's been different?
Yeah, everything. Less nude hoops, you know, a few less racquetball games, less sleep, you know, just because you got 100 kids out there and you're worried about what's going on with them all the time, right? You know, and you're always concerned about, are they really studying? Are they sleeping? Are they not sleeping? Should they be sleeping? Did they get enough to eat today? You know, that's the one thing that always jumps out to me is I worry so much about our kids. Just are they getting enough to eat? That's a big deal for a college football player. Are they hungry? So those are the things that keep me up now. You know, it's totally different that way. Coach Udy, our offensive coordinator, has been trying to explain to me what we're going to do on offense this week, and I'm just getting clued in now. I'm like, okay, here we go. This sounds like a pretty good plan, you know, and can't wait to see what we do. So the X's and O's really go out the window once you become a head coach because it's really all about what's going on with your football program and taking care of your kids.
You just mentioned something there. How involved are you going to be then in the play call?
Well, I'm very involved in saying yes or no, but I don't. A lot of people think I've called all the plays the last couple of years. The assistant coaches have really done all the work. Our offensive line coach puts together the run plan. The wide receivers coach, Coach Hyman when he was here, and then Coach Udy last year, they put together the pass game plan. And a lot of the time, play calling's overrated. Player preparation is the most important thing. So we've prepared our players. People have always said, you know, something good will happen, and they'll say, oh, what a great call. And really, not really. We just threw it to Marcus Sanchez, and he's really good, and he ran fast afterwards, you know. It's really about the players. And so I'll call a lot of plays, but I do think it's a pretty overrated part of football. I really do. I think it's really about player preparation. The actual plays you call, it's really going to be how well you execute. You know, all the coaches in the world know a lot, but it's really about how much we can teach our kids. Yeah.
How are the freshmen this year?
This is a pretty juiced up group. Yeah, these are some good kids, you know. We've done some interesting things in terms of our team building, and the seniors have really pulled those kids along. We've never had sort of this issue where the seniors are coming to me and bringing things to my attention, and it's awesome. So they're really working to help keep kids accountable. But they're coaching them. They're not just trying to catch them doing something wrong. They're actually trying to help them get it right. And I think that's been the neatest part about what's going on in this program right now. We have way more kids who know each other's names than ever before, which sounds like a small thing, but with 100 football players in your program, 10 coaches in your program, everyone really knowing each other's names. Hey, where's that kid actually from? He has a name, and you know, where's Darren from, and what's he all about? And I think that's why this freshman class has just jumped all over the place. We're going to play some freshmen, which is exciting. I'm not going to tell you all the freshmen we're going to play. I'll tell you afterwards. But we are going to play some freshmen, and they're ready to go. We have more game-ready freshmen than we've ever had before. There's no question about it. But I'm more into just, they're good kids. They go to class. You know, we're not having an issue there. So all those things are really positive. Perfect. All right, we'll see you guys on Saturday. Thanks a lot.
Folks, the good thing about Coach Tinker is he's always got a lot of juice too. So that's the good thing about him. Friday, 9:30, remember to watch the cross-country team get things started. And Saturday, Noon kickoff, get there early, tailgate. Hope you have your ramp spot, your tickets, we're ready to go. Thanks for coming, we'll see you this weekend.